Hi, my name is Hannah Fouts-Sparks, and today I am here with my business partner and husband, Jordan Sparks. We are going to be talking about an ADU today. If you don't know what an ADU is an additional dwelling unit. We just finished building an ADU on the back of one of our rental properties in Salem. So Jordan was definitely the brains behind this operation. So I'm going to be interviewing him, asking him questions to kind of educate you guys on the process of an ADU and why we decided to build this. Jordan has 13 years of real estate experience. He now specializes in multifamily and commercial. He's done flips and now he has built ADUs. So he's definitely a very knowledgeable broker. So I'll ask you first, why did we decide last year to build an ADU instead of going more the traditional route of buying a duplex or a triplex, and why we decided to do this instead?
First reason is we already own property. With rising interest rates and price point on single family homes, it just made more sense to build an ADU on a property that you already own. You don't have to buy the land. You don't have to secure another loan. Could secure another loan. We didn't do that. And it was really just to create another source of passive income that's easy to attain.
We were speaking about loans. So is there options for buyers to get loans on a home that they already own to be able to build an ADU?
There are some options out there. Those options are increasing. Typically, you've got local credit unions on a case-by-case basis that will offer financing for these type of ADUs, becoming more popular and more relevant in our market. Although, in other markets, these options are already available. So that's something to capitalize on in the future. We didn't do that on this property, but we will maybe that in future. Certainly built in equity on the property by just building the ADU, and that's one of the key drivers of this, on top of the cash flow and the fact that now we have two tenants and landscaping costs that didn't increase just because I added a property. We separately metered the water and the power. So really, this is pretty much a property that doesn't have any expenses attached to it after the mortgage is paid and repay ourselves for the ADU cost. My idea with this property was to find a plan that works and literally rinse and repeat the next time around. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. A number of design challenges that I will not repeat in the future, but they're pretty simple fixes. Made the bathroom a little bigger than it should have been. Made the secondary bedroom without the closet, although we're going to do a built-in, so it can be the same thing. We shifted the door so on the exterior it wouldn't be quite as symmetrical, but the functionality would be a lot better. And I think that's the main key with an ADU in a small space is you can make it really functional or you can make it not functional at all. And I think that's the key with a small space is really paying attention to the design on the interior, how the bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchen lays out. 640 square feet, there isn't a lot of room, but if you design it right, which we did a good job, but it could be better, a couple things I would change on the next one, and a couple things that I would also advise clients to change or to keep in mind when they're building something like this. So, it's all part of the learning experience. That's why I did it. So this isn't perfect, but the beauty is it's a rental property. So I'm not living in it. Most importantly, she's not living in it, so she can't complain about all these things that aren't perfect. True. So the maximum footprint of the ADU can be no more than 75% of the square footage of the main home on the property. So if you're looking at a property and you want to build an ADU, that is one of the primary constraints is it can be no more than 75% of the square footage of the main structure existing on the home.
Can you talk a little bit about if somebody is wanting to build an ADU or looking for a property to possibly build an ADU, what are some of the things that they should be looking for on like lot size of house that is currently on there, what size of ADU they could be possibly building?
Basically, ADUs in Salem can be built on any lot, technically. The lots do need adequate access, logistics of the property where it sits, setbacks from property lines, that type of thing. There's something to factor in. Ideally, a property that has ample access on one side or the other is pretty optimal. The maximum size for an ADU is 70% of the footprint of the main home. So you need to take that into consideration. I think my biggest takeaway and something I'll be looking at in the future is, something that has, maybe an alley access somewhere, downtown Salem, areas of Keizer having really big lots of general leads to, good opportunity there. So there's a couple different things, but mostly it's that, there is a size cap depending on the size of the main home, access for certain types of machinery to for a foundation and do the initial site work is pretty key as well. So if you're looking to obtain your first investment property, you may not have to buy a new property at all. You might be able to put one in your backyard. I might be happy to help you with the process, with the logistics. But of course, if you're looking to buy a new property and you want to offset your mortgage payment with a passive income investment like an ADU, we have to help you with that as well. Here at Sparks Real Estate Group, we sell commercial, residential, and pretty much all things real estate. Happy to help you brainstorm, game plan, or just be your consultant's shoulder to cry on. Might be both if you do a GC of the ADU like I did, so you'll probably have a little bit of both. So we've got Kleenex for your tears, and we've got some ideas for your future investments. So love to help you. If you're considering building an ADU on your property or you're looking for your first investment, commercial real estate, residential real estate really doesn't matter. If you're looking for passive income, if you're looking for the tax benefits that come with that, what you're really looking for is just, property with this space that has access to it. I bought this property in 2019. It was pretty much like the ugly duckling on the block. The owners, couldn't put time or money or effort into it. So I think I bought this property for $229. I probably put about $50,000 into it out of my own cash. After the purchase, I secured it with, at the time, was a market interest rate. Currently, it looks pretty great at 3.375. So I lived in this property for a short period of time. I rented it out to my dad for a minute. I also have one of my number one contractors that lives in the property and rents it out with his family. From there, it was cash flowing already before the ADU. Because we paid cash for the ADU as it went along, we're looking at, probably $2,000 plus a month in cash flow. Granted, that's repaying ourselves back for the influx of cash that we had initially. The overall, property is valued at, roughly, say, $330,000. The main house is a 2-bed, 1-bath, 988 square feet, if I'm correct. Adding an ADU to the property costs us about $145,000. I pretty confidently can say, probably worth about $5